good evening. Welcome to our Build Your Brand course from Bibong Pinay. So make sure you have your pens and ball pens with you. So medyo intense tong pag-uusapan natin, just like what I've said on our dun sa mga post, no. I love building brands. I love designing brands, and I love creating brands. So right this very moment, as I count, no, I own 16 brands. Kaya yon, so magkakaiba yon. So and I believe madadagdagan pa yon, no. I'll basically mamaya malalaman nyo kung bakit, why I love doing that. And this time I really want you guys to take notes, okay? Take down notes. So get a pen, get a piece of paper. Wala tayong workbook. Many people are asking if bakit daw hindi na natatanggap yung workbook. So wala po tayong workbook dito. Okay, because it's only 200 pesos. It takes much of my time to design a workbook. Okay, so ayan. So we have 75 people na in the community. Okay, so congratulations. Welcome to the Build Your Brand course, and I do hope and pray that through this course you will learn a lot of things about brand building, about what brand is all about, para mas matake pa natin yung mga ginagawa natin, yung mga startup and yung mga businesses na maybe you already started a business. The next thing is, how can we take it to the next level? So brand is very important if we want our company or our business or organization, whatever we're leading, whatever we desire to thrive, diba? Whether it's an existing business or it's a startup, you want to become an entrepreneur, you are a financial advisor, you are selling planners and notebooks. Kaya yan. So napakamahalaga ang brand. If you want to be well known, diba, on your craft, brand is important. And the reason why I did this, designed this course, is because syempre nakikita ko yung mga gawa ng bawat isa. We have 2,100 plus members in our community, and almost 60% are actively posting. So while looking at your works, no, sabi ko nga, some projects, some designs are a wow, some products, pero nakita ko yung iba medyo sablay sa branding. I saw a picture na yun yung design. I think someone posted a calendar, tapos ginagamit natin yung mga personalized picture. So what happens is nasi-stretch yung mga mukha. So naging mukhang SpongeBob yung mga tao dun sa picture, no? So kaya yon. So napakamahalaga that we get to really understand the importance of brand. So this time, let's talk about my top two favorite brands. So second, my top two. So my top two is no other than Starbucks. So I believe some of us here are already familiar. Sino sa atin dito hindi pa nakapag-Starbucks? Sabihin niyo lang, ililibre ko na kayo. Okay? So yung hindi pa, ha. Ayan. So I love Starbucks, okay? Because I love coffee. But more than Starbucks itself, the reason why I love Starbucks is because I've read the story about how it started, how it was founded. So yung last book ni Howard Schultz is Grind It Out. So I've read the book. It's a good book. I love his first book, Onward. No, that's his second book pala. He wrote 3 books. So Onward was one of my favorite business books. And it's a leadership book, not a biography. So a leadership book, no, kwento din ni Howard how he started Starbucks and where it is going. Ayan. So kaya yon. And whenever we think about Starbucks, basically we are thinking about the coffee. On our startup course, 'di ba, napag-usapan natin na when we hear the word Starbucks or we see the logo or the name, ang unang iniisip natin, Starbucks is all about the coffee. Well, in fact, it's not. It's all about the community. So yun nga, 'di ba, ang ganda ng mission statement ng Starbucks, ng vision nila. So they're creating communities, 'di ba? Ang vision talaga niya is he wants to design a center, a community, a third place wherein whenever people go there, they create relationships, they build wonderful memories. Kapag pagod na every Friday night, they will just go there to relax with their families and friends and loved ones, where a aspiring author is writing his first book. So everything, those magical things through a cup of coffee. So Ay, may hindi pa nakakapag-Starbucks. Okay, really? Really? Okay, Cindy, sige. I don't know how we're going to make it, but our admin will send you a message now. So magdadirect message, no? Ayan, may maililibre tuloy ako ng Starbucks. Sige, wala na ha. The joke lang. Sige, just tell me no if you haven't experienced Starbucks yet. Okay, so just make sure there's a Starbucks in your area. So that's the reason why I love the vision. I love the DNA of Starbucks. Kaya yun, yung excellence, yung quality, yung standard. And that's the reason why I keep on going back to Starbucks. In fact, meron kami ditong machine, automatic machine, no, yung Dolce Gusto. So, but instead of using the Nescafe brand, bumibili pa kami ng Starbucks na mga ano no, what do you call that? Yung pods? Yeah, I don't know what it's called pero something like that. Kaya yun. So one thing I love about the Starbucks is not just because of the beautiful aesthetics, the beautiful brand. Ayan, may 600 message. Coffee pods. Ayan, thank you. Mindanao. Okay. So, ayan, napapabasa tuloy ako ng mga messages. Talaga, sir, may mga hindi pa pala nakapag-Starbucks. Anyway, sige, just, yeah, just comment if you haven't experienced it yet. So, yeah, I love the design. I love the simplicity. I love how the way they present it. So one thing about Starbucks is that once you experience it, especially if you love coffee, diba? If you are a coffee drinker, you will love to go to their hubs or their stores pala rather. So ako, one of my favorite store is in Westgate, Alabang. Ayan, so Westgate, Alabang because of the Starbucks Reserve. So alam naman natin no, maraming dessert na drinks ang Starbucks, the frappuccinos, yung mga ganun. But if you are a coffee drinker na medyo meticulous ka sa flavor, so you will want to visit a Starbucks Reserve. Na dun pa lang i-journey talaga nila kayo on how to make an authentic coffee, 'di ba? Like Arabica, siphon. So things like that. So buti na lang dito sa Bacolod, merong Starbucks Reserve. Ayan, and something that about this brand is that lagi siyang puno. Hindi pwedeng hindi napupuno ang Starbucks. Compare it to other coffee brands. In fact, alam niyo ba na Starbucks is one of the most affordable coffee brands there is. Yes, compare it to Figaro, compare it to the local stores here. I'm visiting Rachel's here, then CBTL. What else? Ano pa bang mga coffee brand dito? The Bob's Cafe. Yeah, ano yun? Yeah, Rachel's. Kaya yun. So very affordable ang Starbucks if you're going to compare. Kasi like for instance, CBTL, 'di ba? Parang yung largest nila which is tall, it's something like this. Parang grande lang ng Starbucks pero mas mahal pa sa venti ng Starbucks. Kaya yun. So Starbucks is actually affordable if you're going to study, no? Kaya yan. Of course, kung mag-ano tayo, kung Nescafe 3-in-1, mas mura nga naman yun. Um, Ayan, so never tried really. Okay. So mas mura nga naman pag mga Nescafe na pero yung authenticity kasi especially if you are into that to brewing, alam mo yon yung matikman mo talaga yung flavor ng coffee as it is, di ba? So one thing that I love also no sa Starbucks is when it comes to their involvement to the community projects. So hindi natin alam they actually have a very very big foundation. Meron silang scholarship program for the baristas. Alam nyo ba na even the baristas are not called baristas. Starbucks call them partners. So if you are a Starbucks partner, 'di ba? You work with them, talagang ang ganda no. Tapos hindi ka pa naka-graduate. Talagang they will sponsor your college or whatever degree. So talagang they will take care of you, and not just that, they're also involved in community projects like here in the Philippines no, mataas ang involvement nila sa mga brigada eskwela. Kaya yun, hindi lang tayo aware. Pero para sa mga talagang fan, follower, things like that, you love the brand, so aware tayo sa mga ganyang projects nila. Meron din sila para sa mga marginalized, no? Sa mga SPED program for the blind. Kaya yan. So may mga programs sila para sa. And another thing that I love about their brand is this one, the partners themselves. So Starbucks are training their partners na world-class talaga yung service. World-class talaga yung knowledge nila when it comes to customer service, to what do you call that? Yung ano ang tawag sa field ng ganito? Oh my goodness, I forgot the terminology again. Hospitality. There you go. So hospitality. So ayan, medyo naglalaps, medyo nagre-reduce ako ng coffee ngayon, nag-acid reflux ako. Anyway, so kaya grabe no, whenever you enter Starbucks, talagang they are required, especially nung era ni Howard Schultz. They are required to memorize the name. They are required to memorize your coffee. Kaya minsan pagpasok mo sa Starbucks, magugulat ka na lang. Everyone knows you. Hello, Mark. Good morning, Mark. Same coffee? So is it going to be the Frappuccino or the Americano? Is it going to be... Kaya yon. So they memorize. Okay, kaya sobrang ano sobrang you will feel special. And that Starbucks, that's their brand. And another, my top one, my favorite brand is no other than Apple. So alam niyo naman no, yung Apple products, very wow, very, how do I say this? It's very sleek. It's very, alam mo yun, lagi nilang ina-achieve yung perfection. When it comes to innovation nowadays, after Steve Jobs, when he died 2011, medyo bumagal ang Apple. Pero nung panahon ni Steve Jobs, he literally changes categories. He changed the way we think, the way we look at a computer, how it became a personal computer, the way he changed movie industries, music industries, aesthetics and design. In fact, when I've read yung biography ni Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and the Boring Company and SpaceX, sabi niya, major influence niya is Apple, Steve Jobs. So, sobrang ano at sobrang ganda ng branding nila no, to the point na during the early 2000 when computers are sold, alam niyo yun, papasok kayo sa computer store tapos parang ang daming computer. Alam niyo yun, parang if you've been to ano nga ba mga computer shop ngayon, Octagon, Silicon Valley, so something like that. Up until now ganun pa rin sila. But who would have thought that early 2000 what they did is nag-create sila ng sarili nilang flagship store which looks like this. 'Di ba? So, sobrang ganda. Ayan, okay. So, ayan, sobrang ganda, no? Ang ganda ng flagship stores nila. So, talagang it's very unique that other companies are copying them. 'Di ba? If you go to Samsung, meron na rin silang mga flagship stores. Kaya yon. Even their concept stores. 'Di ba? What's the difference no when we say flagship stores? Basically, flagship stores is owned by the owner. Dito kasi sa Philippines, we don't have real flagship stores ng Apple, Nike. We have one in BGC. We have Nike stores who looks like Nike store, but that's not from Nike themselves. Okay. Dito sa Philippines, we don't have an Apple store. We have Loop. We have Power Mac. At some point, I love Power Mac more than iStore. Loop is a daughter company ng Power Mac. What else? So Beyond the Box. Kaya yon. So at some point, Power Mac is medyo malapit. Okay, yung service nila, the way they design it, mas malapit sa Apple. But no, walang flagship store ang Apple dito sa Philippines. Okay, so ayan, and recently, they just launched a not so innovative product, 'di ba? The iPhone 14. So hindi siya ganoon ka-innovative, mas innovative ang Samsung, foldable, 'di ba? Things like that. Apple, medyo may onting changes. Andun pa rin naman yung perfection sa design, pero not so innovative. But because it's the brand Apple, because it's Apple, on its first day that was launched, iPhone 14, not that innovative or high-tech, what happened? Ubos, okay? Naubusan kaagad sila ng stocks. At usong-uso yan sa Apple, lagi silang nauubusan. And alam nyo ba na Apple lang ang hindi nagbibigay ng discount ever. Never silang nagbibigay ng sale, hindi sila nagbibigay ng major discount sa mga gadgets nila. Compared to Samsung, they just launched the Fold, the Note, the Ultras, 'di ba? Yung mga ganyan, yung mga top class nila na mas mahal pa rin naman ng Apple. So pero after 2 months or 3 months, maglalagay sila bigla ng 10%, 20% off, things like that. So hindi kasi sila nauubos. Ayan. So I remember nung lumabas yung iMac, I want to buy for one of my company. gusto ko sana lahat sila naka-iMac, pero wala kaming mabilhan kasi nga lagis lang ubos. And not just that, about the brand though, they really stand out among the rest because Apple is very rich, no? One of the no, not pala one, the richest brand, okay, in the world, to the point na mas mayaman pa sila sa ibang mga bansa. So if you saw the Apple Park, this is their office, their campus. It's very different, no? So that's the brand. That's Apple. So again, the reason why we keep on going back, coming back to these stores, buying these items, regardless if they're expensive, regardless if they failed at some point, is because of the brand itself. Okay? Because what we need to understand is when we say brand, brand is the entire identity of a business. Yes. The way you represent your brand, your staff, di ba? The way you communicate to your people, the way you handle your customers, the way you do marketing, the way you design, everything is all about your brand. These things are your brand, your identity. Kaya nga minsan, di ba, tayong mga tao, halimbawa, lagi tayong late. Di ba? Minsan sasabihan tayo, ayan, na-brand ka na laging late. 'Di ba? Kaya minsan kahit parang 5 years ago ka pang late, lagi ka nang naging maaga, parang whenever people look at you, yan yung laging late. Ayun. So it's your identity. Ano bang tama? Kinasamaang palad. Tama ba yung Tagalog? Kasamaang palad. Basta anyway. Ayun. So sadly, sadly, yun na lang. English na lang. Okay. Naging identity mo na ngayon. Okay, so my goal here is for you guys to really figure it out. How are you going to make and create a good brand? Some of you, few of you, you're already doing a business, meaning meron na kayong existing business. Some of you are just starting or you just started. Some of you aren't even registered yet. Please mag-register tayo. Mahirap maging kalaban ng gobyerno, promise. Okay, so, ayan. So, the question is, my goal of course is for your brand to be a wow, okay, a brand that will really last. Alam mo yun, parang after 100 years it's going to be there. This is what we call a visionary brand or a visionary company. So what are the advantage of a good brand? First, of course, a good brand can help you build trust. Diba? Whenever a product would launch something, because you love that brand, automatic kahit sasabihin nilang, may lalabas pa yan after 1 year. Well, it's okay. I've been using this. In fact, I've been using Apple since 2007. Kaya yan. So, me and my dad were watching the launch of iPhone. Kaya, because of that, nag-decide kami. Nung na-inlove kami sa iPhone, then all of a sudden, yun nga, we decided to get other brands. So what I did is I explored other brands as well. Ayan, so I bought Samsung. I remember I bought a Fold. Tapos yun nga, i-flip. After a quarter, bumabagal siya. Hindi ganun kaganda yung performance compared to my first iPhone 3G na up until now, sobrang smooth pa rin niya. Huwag nyo lang i-update sa latest OS. Okay. So next is you can create better advertising. Of course, if the service is excellent, if the logos, the feedbacks, if everyone loves your brand, ang daling mag-advertise. Minsan isang post mo lang, very simple post, people will keep on buying from you, or yun nga, pupunta sila sa brand mo or sa business mo. It is an advantage to your employees. 'Di ba? Parang ang sarap, part ako ng Thrive team. Oh, I'm part of Archers. Oh, I'm part of Apple. 'Di ba? Parang for them it's a wonderful opportunity that they are part of that brand. Number 4, it creates loyal customers, of course, because of the wonderful experience. For those who have attended the startup, di ba, pinag-usapan natin how to create a product. Our product is part of our brand. Di ba? So, can you imagine biglang all of a sudden Apple decides to sell a piece of paper? Di ba? Parang gano'n, no? So, parang it doesn't make sense. So, things like that. What if biglang Starbucks would start selling their tissue napkins? Di ba? So, mga ganun. So, but because of the wonderful experience, the wonderful memories we have with these items, with these companies and brands, all of a sudden, it creates loyalty sa kanila. Na kapag halimbawa may gusto tayo, automatic yun na yung pipiliin natin. Like for instance, ako, I have 70 plus black t-shirt. So baka nagtataka kayo, si Coach Mark parang hindi naliligo. Yan, mahilig ako maligo sometimes. Minimum 3 times a day, 5 times a day. Whenever I do transitions, lagi akong naliligo, no? Yan, mahilig ako maligo, mahilig ako sa tubig actually. Mahilig ako uminom ng tubig, mag-swimming. Ayan, nag-explain. Kaya yan. But regardless, if you will take me to Uniqlo, if you will take me to Levi's, to Memo, whatever brand, I'd still go to pen shop. Ayan. So medyo nagwo-worry ako kapag nawala na itong model na to kasi feeling ko paubos na eh. Hindi niya nawawala na sa mga stocks. So pen shop lang ako. So I don't buy other brands. Pen shop lang. Ayun. So kaya brand, pag-uusapan natin tonight. So there are 6 components, okay? Important things that we need to understand whenever we think about brand. Whenever we think about you, yourself, whenever you think about the thing, the business, the startup that you are starting. So what are these things? Number 1, the DNA. Next, the name, the logo, the representation, the voice, the story behind it, and the aesthetics. This will define your brand. Diba? Let's take it on a personal level. Ako, I have a DNA. I have a vision, I have a mission, I have a culture, the way I work. Meron akong habits. I have those habits because it's part of my culture. So I have a core values above all else. Diba? May mga bagay akong pinapahalagahan. The reason it dictates the things, decision factor, yung mga ganun, no? So not just that, of course, I have a name, Mark Timothy Brion. And my representation, the black. Diba? The cap, the black eyeglasses, I make sure it's thick. Ayan, so, and not just that, the black shirt. Ayan, okay. So of course, the voice. So I always, my voice, no, hindi yung speaking voice, I'm talking about your tone. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. Then I love doing what I'm doing because of the story that I have for everyone. Pag-uusapan din natin yan. And when it comes to aesthetics, so things like this. Everything I do, I make it sure that it's world-class. My training should be world-class. My design should be world-class. So that's how I do it. That's my personal brand. Okay, so what about you? So this time, let's talk about quick overview about DNA. So startup kasi, because most of you guys, you've done the training ng startup, know how important a DNA is. A purpose. When I say DNA, I'm talking about your vision, your mission, your culture, and your core values. So napakamahalaga, no, na yes, not about the logos. Okay, napakamahalaga, no, na you have a strong DNA mismo. So no wonder there are companies, no, that they will design part of the aesthetics, part of the plano ng interior nila. They always put these words. So at first medyo it doesn't make sense na parang ano ba ibig sabihin to mission, vision, tas babasahin pa natin. Sa orientation, nire-recite pa ito nung nasa HR, and sometimes sadly most companies, especially here in the Philippines, it stops there. Ayan. So well, in fact, if you're going to look at the visionary companies, the giant corporations, look at Facebook. Tawag natin dito the 4 horsemen. We have the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Google. Ayan, Google. From the CEO, from the chairman, from board members, up until the rank and file, they know the DNA of the whole company. That's why they excel. That's why they are visionary companies. Kaya yun. Kaya yung mga ganito, no, it's very important na we really post it. Kaya kahit kami naman, we're doing this, we post it on our social media, we post it on our office, on our desk to remind ourselves. I always write it on my journal every single day, my vision, my vision and my mission. So napakamahalaga na on your brand, people can get a glimpse of the things that you value the most as a company, as a entity, diba? If you have a culture of, let's say, a spiritual culture, part of your core values is, halimbawa lang naman, no, if you are a Christian, is the Lordship of Christ or the gospel. Part ng core value, no, you value the gospel. So what you do is that mapapansin ng mga customer mo, anytime they buy from you, whenever they open a certain page, laging merong gospel presentation. Parang ganun. O kaya naman may mga Bible verses para hindi magmukhang religious, what you do is you remove yung pinanggalingan, yung specific verse, you just put the content. Parang gano'n. So ako ginagawa ko yun, no? Halimbawa, I'll put a word from the halimbawa, naglagay ako ng verse. He will be like a tree planted by streams of water which you... So instead of putting Psalm chapter 1 verse 2 and 3, nilalagay ko yung author, King David. Kaya yon. So because it's part of my DNA. So it's very important that you have this. Ako one thing that na very interesting sa akin is yung Army Navy. 'Di ba? So sabi doon, come in hungry, walk out happy. That's their mission statement. So they want you to come in hungry, they will make sure na paglabas natin, busog tayo. So that's their mission statement. Okay. Nagcha-choppy ako. Ayan. So baka sa internet niyo, Elena. So far I have a good internet connection. Okay. Ayan. Sige. Yes, aha. Don't worry, no. You'll have an access naman sa ating replay, but take note, the replay will be available for 1 week only. Okay? So 1 week lang. So make sure that within the week you will still watch habang may access pa tayo. It's not downloadable. So it will be available lang sa ating para syempre para hindi makuha ng iba. Ayan, okay. Sige, let's continue. So first is the DNA. Next, so medyo nag-overview lang ako sa DNA ha. This time, let's talk about the name. Very important ang ating brand name. So the next question is, tama ba ang pangalan ng ating brand? Ayan, so part of the brand that I'm building right now is Ebenezer. So Ebenezer, there's a context, there's a story behind it. Ebenezer, I'm using that name for my real estate business. So some of you already know no, na we are building a subdivision right now and a business center. So the realty company is Ebenezer. So the name is Ebenezer Realty Company. So aka Ebenezer. So yan, I'm also doing Spark. So dahil magbebenta kami ng mga cricut here in Bacolod, in Iloilo and some parts of Visayas. So the name, syempre hindi namin pwedeng pangalanan ng cricut yung store, no? So the name is Spark. Ayun, so the space for the creators, parang ganon. Okay, brand name. So how do you make a brand name? So there are 7 categories tayong pagpipilian. Okay, so ngayon isipin niyo yung brand name niyo, yung company name niyo ngayon, yung iniisip niyong pangalan. So nakita ko na yung mga pangalan ng iba sa inyo. Yung iba, you chose your name. Some of you naman, you chose a name that, sorry, I have to say this, no? May nakita ako mga appealing, may mga names naman ako nakita na parang it doesn't make sense sometimes, na parang alam ko kaagad na hindi to lasting. Something like that. Okay. Ayan, ink and paper. Wow, okay. Sige. So, there are 7 categories and I want you guys to think, no, ano yung mas bagay sa inyo. The first category is, ayan, eponymous. So, eponymous, basically from the word epony, di ba? Eponym, wherein you use your name, okay? Or you use a name. Like for instance, Walt Disney. So, pangalan niyan, di ba, si Walter Disney. So that's his name. That's his nickname. Nung binata pa siya hanggang tumanda siya is Walt. So that's his name. Disney is his last name. Adidas. Okay, nanggaling yan kay Adolf Dassler. His nickname is Adi. Diba? So Adolf Dassler, so si aka Adi, then Das. So from Dassler. So siya yung nag-create ng Adidas and Puma. Sadly, when he died, minana ng anak, nag-away, naghiwalay ang Adidas and Puma. Okay. Then of course, Tesla by Elon Musk. Pero hindi niya pinangalang Musk or Elon Musk. He named it after a certain guy, his favorite hero, who is Nikola Tesla. 'Di ba? Alam naman natin yung contribution ni Nikola Tesla. Then of course, we have Mr. Domingo Rojas Antonio de Ayala. Ayan. So one of my favorite local Filipino conglomerates. Ang ganda ng contribution niya early years nang nagsa-start pa lang ang business development here in the Philippines. So he started building a bridge, 'di ba? Naggumawa siya ng bridge project, pero what he did is siya yung nag-lead ng bayanihan. He didn't spend his own money, nagbayanihan sila. So until such time, natayo yung napakagandang bridge. I forgot the name, no? Tapos his best friend, which is his partner in doing that, later on founded San Mig. So San Miguel Corporation. Yan, yung mga top 2 natin, top 2 conglomerates, no? Na later on, this guy, si Domingo Rojas Antonio de Ayala, ang naging tanghala ng brand na Ayala. And of course, Michael Dell. So one of the heroes of computing industry or computer. So Dell. So eponymous. Bagay ba? Brion. Brion Corporation. Ano ba mga apelido natin dito? Let me check the participants. Diba? La Torre. Parang La Torre Inc. Parang ganon. So Rendora. Diba? So bagay kaya. Nakikita ba natin after 100 years, Brion Incorporation, oh, they own a bank, parang Ayala lang, no? BPI, parang ganon. So, ang ganda sana. Okay. Okay. There you go. So, next is descriptive. What is a descriptive? Basically, it describes whatever you're selling or doing. American Airlines, the Home Depot, very, very direct. Pizza Hut. Then, of course, Burger King. So, very straight to the point. That's descriptive. Next is, acronymic. Yan. So, nakakabulol, no? GE from General Electric, KFC, dahil nga naman Kentucky Fried Chicken, whenever people before are very sensitive pag sinabing, oh, fried chicken, that's unhealthy. So what the business people did when Colonel Sanders died, they changed it to KFC. HSBC, which means Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, to make their business bigger, okay, they can be global, binago nila ng HSBC. Kasi kung Hong Kong and Shanghai, very limited, Hong Kong and Shanghai lang. Okay. Next, suggestive. When we say suggestive, we have the real, composite, and invented. When we say real, these are real words. Uber means cool, okay, other language. So, ang cool nga naman kasi, di ba, na parang wala ka naman pera, pero, uy, may driver ako, ganda ng sasakyan na nagda-drive sa akin, di ba? I'm Uber, parang ganon. Then Slack. So, if for those guys na who's using Slack, na just mag-Slack ka lang dyan, humiga ka lang, sandal ka lang, get your laptop, then work. Feeling mo tinatamad ka, that's the idea of Slack. Composite, basically from two different words like face plus book, Facebook. The idea of Ray-Ban, so ray, sunlight, yung ray ng sunlight, ban, okay? Bawal, banned. Okay, so ray, ban. Then of course, invented, like the word Kleenex. So, well, basically we have the word clean, pero medyo binago, nilagyan ng X. So, Pinterest, basically the pin and the interest. Okay, so pwedeng suggestive din. Then, pwede namang associative, like Amazon. When we say Amazon, alam natin the Amazon forest is the largest forest in the whole planet. So basically, the goal of Jeff Bezos is to make Amazon, his company, the largest store that whatever you need from A to Z, everything's there. Red Bull, the idea there is when you drink that energy drink, you will be as strong as a bull. Diba? You are energetic, you are powerful, diba? Parang you are alive. Subaru. Basically, this is the Japanese word ng Pleiades. And as you know, Pleiades is a constellation of stars, one of the best stars, diba? The color blue stars sa galaxy, sa universe. So, Subaru. Okay. So, lahat ng bumibili sa kanila, they are stars. Kaya yun, they stand out. Okay, so next is the non-English. Like Samsung. Samsung means 3 stars in Korea. Lego means play. Play well in Danish. Diba? Denmark. Hulu. Yan, it came from the Chinese proverb which means you store precious things. I'm not sure about Hulu. What is Hulu? Parang Netflix to, diba? I'm not sure. I haven't used Hulu yet because I'm using Netflix. Kaya yon. So alam naman natin, ayan, di ba, brand. I'd rather choose Netflix, Prime, HBO, and Disney Plus. Available lang Disney Plus in the Philippines. I think it's 399 peso a month. Tama ba? 399 peso ang Disney Plus. Kasi hindi ako yung nag-subscribe. Hindi ako yung nag-subscribe para sa account namin. Next is abstract, right? Rolex. These aren't words. 'di ba? Kodak, like Under Armour, so Vaio, Airbnb. So yan, piliin lang natin no from abstract, non-English, associative. Maghanap na kayo ng Korean word for paper, 'di ba? Ayan, print, 'di ba? Best print in Korea. Alamin niyo na 'yon. So something like that. And the question is why Korea? Ay, alam naman natin usong-uso ngayon ng Korea. So I hope you're learning something different. 369. Ayan, 369. Thank you for the correction. Okay, associative, suggestive, acronymic, descriptive, and eponymous. So choose a name. And of course, second, no, make sure that there's a big idea behind the name. Ayan, you can actually explain the big idea na later on, as we progress, mas matatakal pa natin yan. Like for instance, when we think about Apple, the big idea behind the name is they're talking about simplicity. Later on, maididikit na nila yan when you say like thrive. Oh, it means content. Parang ganon. O kaya, ano nga bang thrive? It means life. Yan, it means next level. So something like that. Okay? Then of course, when we talk about Louis Vuitton, we're talking about luxury, hindi naman food. 'Di ba? Oh, pag sabing Louis Vuitton, pangmayaman 'yan. Ayan, so I have a friend who's buying lots of Louis Vuitton here. So nalaman ko, grabe no, kasi sabi ko sige nga matry ko nga yung ano. Yan, matry ko nga yung ano no, matry ko yung bag nila. Pagtingin ko yung bag lang pouch bag. Nakita ko almost 70,000 pesos. At dito sa we have one here, I think one here in Greenbelt. So napakamahal naman pala. Then of course when we think about Google automatic, 'di ba? May research ka, i-Google mo 'yan. 'Di ba? So wala tayong iba pang iisipin pa. Hindi naman i-dictionary mo 'yan, Webster's Encyclopedia. Parang ganoon, no, Google mo 'yan. Next, of course, when we think about social network, we're thinking about Facebook. And when we think about, 'di ba, social network before, dapat lalabas ka, magpa-party outside with your friends. Ngayon, you want to engage the world, just go to Facebook. Just go to your account. Then of course, Ministop, wala na akong iba pang maisip na for convenience. Last time I visited Ministop was 2020 pa. So, but of course, Ministop is number 1 when it comes to convenience. So basically, these are things that we need to consider when we are thinking about our brand name. So make sure that there's a message conveying sa mga pangalan na yon. So another thing, things that we need to consider is, first, if we're going to choose a name, is it a memorable or catchy name? Like halimbawa, can you give me a name? Like halimbawa, di ba, we have a brand here, Sinangag Express. Tapos pinasikat nila, although maraming nagalit sa kanila, to the point na ngayon wala nang gumagamit kasi they were, according to the law, they violated something daw, no? Kaya wala nang gumagamit, di ba? Parang Sinangag Express, tara mag-SEX, parang ganon. Yung pala, naalala ko nung when I was in Alabang, some of my friends are texting yun sa GC namin na parang tara mag-SEX. So parang ako naman, what's this? What are you talking about? Yung pala Sinangag Express. Kaya yon. So is it a catchy name? So things like that. Will it spark intrigue? Diba? Parang mga ganon. Another is it simple and easy to spell? Ayan. So wag naman tayo magpangalan ng, alam mo yung napakahaba, 10 letters tapos isa lang yung vowel. So wag naman ganon. Okay? Will the name be long-lasting? Is it trendy, but not too trendy that it will feel outdated in 5 years? Diba? Parang like for instance, I love what Google did. So Google, they created a Google phone. Later on, na-realize nila na parang let's not associate Google to a technology because basically, nakaka-confuse, diba? Google is all about information. So what they did is that they created Android, tapos ayan, dumami pa ng dumami ang business under Google, pero masisira yung brand nila that Google is all about information. So what they did is that they created a mother company that umbrella niya ngayon, lahat ng mga companies under Google, and they called it Alphabet. Ayan, so ang ganda lang, di ba, parang Alpha, then for the investors, Alpha, well, you belong to the Alpha group, and of course, it's a good bet. Something like that. So the question is, will it last? Impression. Wow. Impression. I like to hear your story first, no, Marjorie. So tell me your story. Why impression? Tell me your vision, your mission. Marjorie, umattend ka na ba ng startup? Sige, antayin natin. Pa-assist lang ako. Ayan, gusto ko malaman. So next, does this name help search engine optimization at all? Kaya yon, baka naman mahirap to sa SEO. Kaya hindi pa. So maganda Marjorie, no, I really encourage you to attend the startup. By the way, no, this year, we will be launching our third startup na very affordable pa. Next year, January, we will be releasing the cohort. So medyo pricey na siya. Kaya yon. So I think we will stay. I don't know how much startup is actually. So sila yung business side namin ang nakakaalam, hindi ako yon. I'm just the content and the trainer. Kaya yon. Ayan, segunda mano de pambata. Segunda mano. Okay, may other. I see. So, ayan. Next, is it authentic to your business? Mahirap magpangalan, no, na parang halimbawa ang pangalan nyo ay Snake. Wow, Snake. Very intriguing. Why Snake? Tapos, nung tinanong nyo, ano bang product nyo? Tinapay po. Parang, what? Di ba? Parang, it doesn't make sense. Dapat may authenticity. Next, does the name fit your audience demographic? Kaya yan. So, ang hirap naman, no, parang jewels. Parang gano'n. Ang ganda, no? Parang jewels and luxury. Ayan. Tapos, ang demographics ng audience mo, yung target market mo, classy. Di ba? Parang, okay. Parang ito yung binibenta mo yata yung mga singsing na tigbebente. Naalala niyo yun? Di ba yung mga nasa kanto? Yun ba yun? Sayang naman. So make sure it fits the demographic. Okay, will your name work in other languages? Di ba, like for instance, basically si Dorcas, yung brand niya na Bibong Pinay, it won't work kasi ang target niya is very clear, Filipinas. That's your target market. So, one of my brands, Thrive, yes, it will fit. Maintindihan naman to ng mga feeling ko ng mga Japanese people. Then another is I have the Archers education. Then what else? I have things like that. Okay. So, that's the name. So, first component ng brand, you make sure that you have a strong DNA. Next, you have a name that really fits. Okay. Amazing Grace sees Zindi. So Amazing Grace, I'm not sure, no, kasi hindi mo na to mare-register. Kasi marami ng company ang pangalan is Amazing Grace. So make sure na available. Paano mo malalaman na available pa ang pangalan if you're going to start a startup business? Just Google it. Ayan. I have a friend who owns Amazing Grace Land. 'Di ba? It's a subdivision. So, sayang nga kasi I also want it. So, gagawin ko na lang is AGL. 'Di ba? Parang ganon. AGL para Amazing Grace. Something like that. Ayan. So, Venezuela Accounting Services. 4 years na. Si Randy and Amabel pala to. Hello, Randy and Amabel. Ayan. Sige, pag-usapan natin yan. I really wanna help your brand. Okay. Sige. So that's the name. This time, let's talk about the logo. Ito na. So, madaling gumawa ng logo sa Canva. But again, that's an advantage para sa mga hindi pa talaga ganun alam niyo, parang wala kayo masyadong art, how do I say this? Parang pangit kasi nung sasabihin ko, no? But anyway, Canva is good. Yun na lang gusto ko sabihin. Canva is good, but the downside is, tingnan niyo yung demographics, di ba? 1 billion people are using Canva. So, basically, may kapareho ka. Kaya kami, ang ginawa namin, part of our brand is we make sure that everything's original. Even the fonts that we are using, wala kaming kapareho. So, yun nga lang, basically, the Lord blessed us with si Jason, a very, very creative guy. So, what he did is that he gets, like, for instance, he gets fonts, ayun nga, tapos medyo ititweak niya na parang pang-amin lang to. Ayan, so, yun lang yung advantage, no? Yes, medyo pass mo na sa Amazing Grace kasi feeling ko hindi ka ma-approve. Ayan, okay. So, madami na medyo gas-gas na yung Amazing Grace. Okay, so let's talk about the logo. The importance of logo. Basically, your logo is your representation. That sometimes, even without the name, when people look at your logo, alam kaagad nila kung ano yan, kung sino yan. Diba? And we have so many logos available. Just Google things that we love, logos that we love, like Mercedes-Benz. Kahit wala yung word na Mercedes-Benz, alam natin na, pang mayaman to. Pag nakita natin yung logo ng GE, panahon to ni lolo't lola. Parang gano'n, no? So, Pixar. Yeah, ang ganda to. Dolce Gusto ng Nescafe. Naiisip ka agad natin, this is the Nescafe of the rich people. Parang gano'n. So, Toyota, taxi. Di naman, joke lang. So, Toyota, the affordable car brand. Okay. So, don't worry, Toyota rin ang sasakyan namin. So, McDonald's. So, things like that. So, just by looking at your logo, ano nga ba? Okay, is it a wow? Diba? Like Dunkin' Donut, they just changed their logo. So, alam naman natin logo ng Dunkin' Donut before. San Miguel Corporation, I'm not sure what happened to their logo. Hindi pa rin sila nag-update. So, I think that was their logo way back. Nagbago lang yung color, no? Okay. So there are 3 types of logo. Actually, there are 4, no? But let me just discuss and focus the 3. So check your logos, okay? Kung ano yung gusto nating desired logo. Then let's identify which is which. Ano yung gusto at kailangan ko dito. So the three types of logos, word marks, pictograph, and ideograph. So again, word marks, pictograph, and ideograph. Okay. So pen shop, medyo mahabang kwento yun, no? Yeah. So anyway, sige. Andito naman yan. So word marks. So what is a word mark? A design that includes only the company name, no symbols, mascots, or badges. When I say mascot, nakita niyo si Jollibee, yung manok sa Andox, that's the mascot. Ibig sabihin, there's a character na gusto nyong i-brand. Diba? So, what are the examples of word marks? Ayan. So, we have the Tiffany & Co., FedEx, IKEA, Gucci, Dell, eBay, Google, H&M, Levi's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Sony, and napakadami pa niyan. Yung tipong even without an ideograph, kung meron man, alam na natin because stated na yung pangalan ng kanilang brand. So, ang logo ba natin ganito? 'Di ba? Okay, so ano bang like Bibong Pinay, 'di ba? Parang automatic, it's word mark. Bibong Pinay nilagyan lang ng gano'n. So, next, ideograph. What is an ideograph? A graphic symbol that represents an idea or concept independent of any particular language and specific words or phrase. Okay, so what's the example? Okay, so ayan. Basically, if you look at this brand, alam mo na kaagad kung ano to. Oh, that's Shell. That's Xbox. Oh, that's Twitter. That's Unilever. That's Wildlife, yung panda. Diba? That's Mitsubishi. Oh, that's Olympics. Oh, Under Armour. We have the Beats, Honda. Oh, Nike. Oh, that's YouTube. So, things like that. So, kahit walang pangalan, automatic people will recognize who you are. Okay, next. Pictograph, a graphical symbol that conveys its meaning through its pictorial resemblance to a physical object. Okay, sige. So let me give an example. Of course, we have the Instagram. So that's their old logo. I think that's 2017 logo. Iba pa yung lumang-luma eh. Then of course, that's the 2020 logo. Iba na kasi ang logo ngayon ng Instagram. Mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo. And of course, do you know what this is? Ayan, bell peppers. No, that's chilies. Okay. Sabi nila ano daw 'yon? Overrated. Sabi nila, twice pa lang ako nakakain sa chilies. Kaya 'yun. Okay, of course alam natin 'to, 'di ba? Chicago Bulls. Then we have the Star. So Star actually yan sa cable, 'di ba? So ngayon as Star was acquired by Disney. So and of course, Eagle. No, it's Dove. Alam na natin 'yan. And lastly, Puma. Joke lang, that's Jaguar. Tama ba? That's Jaguar, no? Yan. So that's an example of ideograph. Okay, so again, it's word marks, pictograph, ideograph, which one yung sa inyo. Okay, and of course, there's a fourth one, we call it the combination. Maybe it's a combination of a word mark plus pictograph or a combination of word marks plus ideograph. Wala pa akong nakikitang pictograph plus ideograph so far. Okay, medyo weird na yon and redundant. Okay, so that's for the logo. So mamaya pag-usapan pa natin yung importance ng designing sa logo. Okay? So if you have question, just type it down. Then later we will have an extra time naman for our question and answer. So next, of course, is the voice. We have the DNA, the mission, vision, culture, and values. Make sure that you own it as the founder, as the CEO, the general manager, or the owner of the business. And make sure you pass it on to the next, okay, to your team. Ang hirap naman na ikaw, you teach excellence. Nakalagay dun sa likod nyo, excellence. Tapos yung team member mo, alam mo yun, slacking, tamad, laging absent, laging late, matari at galit. So it doesn't make sense. Make sure that you have trainings, you have weekly huddles. So ako, I always do that, especially when it comes to establishing my brand. I make sure that I establish my team because at the end of the day, my team is part of my brand and my team is my secret weapon. Okay, syempre. So the voice, so it's very important that we can define our brand's tone of voice. For short, if they will look at your Facebook page, okay, ganda ng design, you look great sa facade, tapos they will go to your flagship store or look at your product, it doesn't make sense. Like halimbawa, nakalagay, halimbawa, ano ba sample? Um, halimbawa lang naman, quality pen. Ayan, quality pen. Tapos nung binenta mo sabihin natin 70 pesos, when your customers got the quality pen, ayan, tapos ang pangalan pa halimbawa ng store mo ay Best Buy, so pagdating sa kanila, tanda na walang tinta, binago lang yung brand, yung logo, parang gano'n, no? So, kaya mahalaga no na laging naka-incorporate, laging integrated ang ating tone of voice. So, there are different kinds of voice. Let me share. Number one, maybe your tone of voice is positive and inspiring. So, halimbawa sa amin, I have Thrive. My tagline is, the name is Thrive. The tagline is, right here, right now. So you will thrive right here. If you join my sessions, you will thrive. If you will read our books, attend our seminars and trainings, you will thrive right here, right now. So that's positive and inspiring. Or like Nike, just do it. Diba? In fact, if you go to a flagship store, sana ma-experience natin lahat yung Nike sa ano no sa BGC. Sobrang ganda ng branding nila. Compare it sa mga third party, meaning we have a Nike store here in Ayala Capital. So may Nike store pero hindi talaga siya owned by Nike. Okay, so they just paid for the trademark. Pwede ba namin gamitin yung trade nyo, yung logo nyo, yung trademark nyo, no, which is Nike, then we will represent you. Okay, we are a Nike store but honestly, we're not registered as a Nike store. So we will just use your brand. So babayaran namin kayo. Okay, basta make sure, may kontrata lang, make sure you're selling my products. Nike, kapag nalaman naming wala, then pull out. Or some franchise approach. So things like that. So ang laki kasi ng difference kapag pumunta ka sa totoong flagship store. Okay? So compared sa store lang, especially for the franchises, no. When you go to the flagship store, grabe, they will really let you use their shoes, whether it's brand new or what. Then alam mo 'yon, parang they will interview you. They will alam mo 'yon, they will ask you, so what's your sport? What do you love? What kind of sports do you do? So kapag sabi mong tennis, talagang they will tell you, you know what, this is the best just for you. Yan, so pipiliin nila yung gano'n. So they really encourage you to just do it. Whatever you're dreaming, aspiring of becoming one day, just do it. We will create the shoes for you or the whatever tools. Next is humorous. 'Di ba? Maraming ganyan sa Philippines, pero the problem is yun nga, the branded sila, no. Sino nga yung parang chismosa sa sa Facebook na sikat, si no, not Christian Gaza. Si Christian Gaza kasi 'di ba parang ano siya pambansang Marites. So yun, that's a brand. Kaya si Senyora, ayan 'di ba? So sa Senyora, pag pumunta ka doon, walang drama. 'Di ba walang drama, walang talagang humorous. 'Di ba mga okray. Kaya yan. So ayun, see, alam na alam niyo lahat Senyora. 'Di ba parang siya yung nagcha-champion dito sa Philippines when it comes to humor. Kaya yun. So Señora Santibáñez, ayan. I'm not really familiar, nakikita ko lang minsan. Ayan, so humorous, basically, ito yung pinapanood namin, Just for Laughs, we have Wow Mali, Di ba? So, things like that. So, is your tone humorous? So, when they go to your page for advertisement, make sure it's humorous. When they meet you in person, when they buy your products, halimbawa, meron kang libro na punong-puno ng jokes, 'di ba? At na mga bagay na nakakatawa, 'di ba? Pampatanggal ng sakit at ng ulo at stress, 'di ba? Parang Bob Ong. So something like that. So that's humorous. Okay. Sino pa bang may humorous na ano dito? Really, Senyora ba is witty? I'm not sure if we're aligned with the word witty, no? Witty. Hindi. Di ko kilala si Senyora. I mean, nakikita ko lang minsan. Okay, so kasi for me, yeah, anyway. So next is of course strong and aggressive. So alam mo 'yon, parang you position yourself, you position your brand as someone who's strong, as someone who's already a champion, like what Nike is doing, like Fila used to do before. 'Di ba? Parang when especially nung nagba-brand ng Fila before was Shaquille O'Neal, 'di ba? Oh, what's that? Okay, may nalaglag sa ano. Ayan, si Alex Gonzaga, 'di ba? So, si Alex Gonzaga. Ah, si Dorcas pala 'to. Ayan, so okay. Si Dorcas gustong-gusto niya si Alex Gonzaga, ako hindi masyado kasi hindi appealing sa akin yung ganong atake. Kaya yon. So I'd rather go to the on a serious note than yung mga gano'n na yung mga prank. So I'm not a fan of prank anyway. Kaya yon. So okay. So strong and aggressive like Audi, 'di ba? Audi, this is my dream car. Wala pa akong ganyang sasakyan, pero Lord willing magkakaroon sana. But Audi, 'di ba? Sabi truth in engineering. So if you're buying a non-Audi vehicle, those engineers, oh, they're lying. Parang ganon. So they make sure they're always innovate yung Audi. Okay, so next, proud and exclusive. Ano nga bang brand? Yung kapag meron ka, you feel like you are part of the exclusive team. 'Di ba? Like BPI, ano ang tawag dun sa VIP ng BPI? Not premium. Oh my. Preferred, ayun, 'di ba? The preferred. Yung mga tipong hindi ka napipila kapag nakita ka, kilala ka na ng manager, kilala ka na ng staff, kilala ka ng security guard, you are a preferred member. 'Di ba sa Ayala, 'di ba? They have the Ayala Rewards Circle. Okay, so yeah, the ARC. Ayan. So ako I really love the ARC, no. Gamit na gamit ko. Minsan pag manonood ako ng sine before, hindi na ako pipila. Haba ng pila, blockbuster. Pakita ko lang ARC ko. Oops, VIP. Ayan. Tapos minsan BPI, dahil may ARC, Ayala Reward Circle, minsan nauunahan mo pa yung mga matatandang preferred. Pero syempre, I don't do that. Nakakaawa naman. Another is, of course, Apple. Think different. Steve Jobs positioned Apple in such a way that only the creative thinkers, those people who change the world, they are the only one who can use Apple. So medyo parang grabe, no? Yan. Naglo-load ako. Ayan. Or your Samsung. Plug up. Thank you for the iPad. Sorry, maglo-lobat kasi yung iPad ko. Okay. So think different. So yeah, and number 5 is considerate and simple. So ano nga bang tone mo? Are you the considerate type and the simple type? Ako I make sure that that's part of my tone and voice then sa Thrive, no. Now we are very considerate. Kaya nga sa mga trainings I always very considerate lagi yung approach ko, no, whenever I do the trainings, the affordability, I always consider other people, yung mga cases nila. So medyo tinataasan natin yung what do you call that? One moment. Empathy. Yeah, yung empathy level. There you go. Thank you. Ayan. So, lagi natin kino-consider ano ang mararamdaman ng mga customers ko. Kaya yon. And of course, the approach is very simple. Like for instance, Pixar. I love this brand, no? So, alam naman natin when 1997, Disney just launched Pocahontas. So, if you've seen Pocahontas, it's a wonderful animation. But Pixar launched under the leadership of Steve Jobs because he owned Pixar before. He launched Toy Story. So alam naman natin yung dinala ng Pixar sa atin, 'di ba? The drama, the emotions, grabe. 'Di ba 1997 first computer animation film Toy Story, and recently their latest which is Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear 2022. So ayan, we have the Encanto, we have Frozen, we have Soul, sa sobrang dami, The Bugs Life, things like that, Cars, Monsters Inc. So napakadami na nilabas ng ano. So next is highly emotional. Ano nga ba yung brand? Is your brand highly emotional? Na whenever people visit your brand, your logos, whenever they go to your store or your office, maramdaman kaagad nila yung emotions. Perfect example is UNICEF. 'Di ba? Their tagline, UNICEF for every child. 'Di ba? Mapapansin mo kapag naglalakad ka sa airport or sa mall or kung sa mang parking na merong mga UNICEF volunteers, talagang kukulitin ka nila to send someone to school. Ito, one of my favorite headlines no sa kanilang website, help us give every child a childhood. Ayan, grabe no? Yes, because not every child experience childhood. So most of them, as young as 2 years old, nagkakaroon kaagad din sila ng heavy burdens and responsibilities. So support the right to childhood at UNICEF CA. So that's Canada. So ako, I love helping, no? Kaya I'm supporting my family's foundation. And at the same time, in fact, right now, I became a part of their board again. So, the board para to raise the fund, no, to help more, to bring more students to school. Kaya yon. Or let's say elegance is your tone, your voice, elegance, the way you show yourselves, yourself to the page, the Facebook page, the way you type that title, 'di ba? Parang premium for everyone. Parang mga ganun, 'di ba? Yung mga title natin, headliners, the content, the product itself, it's very elegant. Like for instance, Louis Vuitton. Picture pa lang nila sa magazine or website or social media, it already shows elegance. In fact, if you go to their stores, di ba, yung mga concept stores nila or their flagship stores rather, so very elegant. So this is their showroom, paupuin ka na dyan at ihihilera nila. And Louis Vuitton ba yung hindi pinapasok si Sharon? O Hermes? Oh, I forgot, no? I think Hermes, yeah. So then, winelcome sila ng Louis Vuitton. Kaya yan. So, up until now, I don't know, no, bakit ang mahal ng... I mean, I know why, but yeah. Hermes, hindi sa pinapasok. Buti na lang may Louis Vuitton. Ayan. So, yeah. So, is it elegant? So, yeah, we've got to identify and think, no, isa-isahin uli natin. So, number one, is our tone of voice, okay? Is positive and inspiring. I believe Bibong Pinay is like that, no? Like, appreciate your beauty, embrace your design, so things like that. So kaya kapag magbabasa kayo ng mga blogs niya, bibili kayo ng product niya, or babasahin niyo yung books niya, it inspires, 'di ba? It inspires and empowers women, and it creates positivity, 'di ba? The mindset, the philosophies behind it. Yan. So, or is it humorous like Bob Ong or yeah, Senora, 'di ba? Or Christian Gaza. Parang yeah. I really admire the guy, no, yung ano niya, yung determination to be successful. Pero I'm not a fan kasi of ano, of chismis and paninira ng iba. So, quite intriguing guy. So, yeah, I've na medyo pinag-aralan ko kasi ang buhay niya, yung story niya, no. So, very determined guy. So, I really appreciate yung determination niya to be successful, to build a brand. Kung napanood niyo na yung Fire Festival, no, he used to be a perfect example, Filipino version ng Fire Festival. Pero yun nga, ang maganda sa kanya, nakaahon siya, yun nga lang, medyo pambansang marites ang tagline niya. So strong and aggressive, you're positioning yourselves as we are the ultimate, we are the best of the best. My notebooks, my planner and calendar, oh, the rest is parang ganon, di ba? Next is proud and exclusive, like Apple. Di ba na parang it creates exclusivity that your customers will feel as if, di ba, when they're part of your group, your community, whenever they buy your product, feeling nila, oh, we're thrive. Parang ganon, di ba? May ganong feeling. Or is it considerate and simple? Another is highly emotional, like UNICEF. And ang voice ba natin ay elegant. So the way we design, the way we allow our customers to feel yung mga shop natin, our products, 'di ba? Parang kapag tinanggap nila at ni-receive yung product, para silang nagbubukas ng treasure chest. Sa ganda, packaging pa lang ang ganda na. By the way, no, dun sa mga ano, mag-explain ba ako para sa mga nag-avail no ng mga products na medyo nasira. Um medyo ano, bago kasi yung sa production team namin. So, ayun, ayoko na i-explain but I do apologize, no? But yun nga, what we did is, yun nga, medyo sensitive kami sa recovery. So, service recovery. So, pinapa-refund namin lahat ng mga naka-experience ng medyo sira-sirang parcels. Okay, so that's the voice. You have the DNA, you have a wonderful name, you have a good logo, and you know your voice. Oh, I will sound professional. Medyo taglish ako, medyo kikay, medyo witty, medyo nakakatawa, medyo seryoso. Parang ganun. Alamin natin. And not just that, I'm not just talking about you talking, but the experience itself. 'Di ba? It's part of your identity na when they enter your store or your parlor or your clinic or your service, ma-experience ka agad lang yung voice. Most of the time, if it's a bad experience, ang sasabihin lang nila, pangit. Kamusta yung visit mo sa ganito? Ah, I won't recommend. Yun na dun ka na brand. That's your brand. Okay? Ayaw natin ng ganon. 'Di ba? Parang, cheap yung service. Parang ganon. So, ayaw natin ng ganon. Next is, of course, story. What story am I telling? When people look at your brand, when people buy your products, whether it's a ball pen, a magic mouse, or a cell phone, or a paper, what's the story, okay, of your brand? So there are 3 levels, no, that I want to share to you this evening. So number 1, make your customers the hero of your story. Whenever you think about building your your brand, remember, it's not about your brand. It's not about you. It's not about the name. It's not about your logo. It's all about them. Why? Because you are branding them. Ayan, di ba? Parang yun nga, gaya ng anong nasabi ko, di ba? Kapag lagi kang late, lagi kang whenever they hear you, yan yung laging yan yung laging tamad, yan yung laging late. Di ba? Yan yung generous. So, ganun din. So, kapag sinabi nila, di ba, nakita nila, uy, may bago kang iPhone. Uy, naka-iPhone, big time. Di ba, nababrand. So, make sure that your customers are the hero of your story. What sets a good brand from a bad brand? Di ba? Like for instance, let me compare coffee shop, coffee store experience. Pupunta ako ng Starbucks. Friend ko na kasi yung mga barista here, no. Here in Bacolod, we have 3 Starbucks. Whenever we go there, medyo kilala na ako. Hi sir Mark. Ayan. So tapos yun nga, they always engage me, so I engage them, I talk to them. So things like that. Compare it to meron kasi dito na nakapasok ako sa isang coffee shop. Ang ganda ng aesthetics. Sobrang ganda. Alam ko naman pinaghirapan na pagandahin ng may-ari, pero nakalimutan nilang part ng branding ang service. Yung mga staff nila halos ayaw makipag-usap, nahihiya sa customer. Laging nagtatago sa likod. So parang, sayang. Sayang. So, no wonder, medyo nalulugi. Naalala ko, last week, I'm having a meeting. Doon kami nagmi-meeting kasi labas lang ng subdivision namin to. So, doon kami nagmi-meeting ng team namin. Tapos, in front of me, pilit kong pakinggan yung nag-uusap yung may-ari. So, binigay sa kanila yung laman ng plastic, no, yung nandun yung pera, tapos nagbibilang sila. Parang meron lang, parang several hundreds and a few 20 pesos. Tapos nagtititigan silang mag-asawa. Tapos parang alam mo, parang nagigets mong discouraged at dismayed to. Na parang yun lang kinita nila for 1 week. So something like that. I mean, I really want to engage this couple and tell them, you know what, let me help you build your brand. So ang pangit kasi nung branding nila, especially when it comes to their customer service, their staffing, 'di ba? The way they serve their customers, medyo hindi talaga maganda. Ang ganda nung aesthetics, wala akong masabi. Kaya yon, nakakalimutan nila na if I really want to stand out, I will serve my customers because they are the hero. The reason why I build this brand, the reason why I designed this product is because I want to change lives. So that's the idea there. So the second thing that we need to understand is number 2, set your customers' problems and pain points as the villains. Lagi tayong nakastance na, you know what, I hear you. You know what, I know how it feels. Kaya one of my favorite brands right now is Uniqlo. I don't buy their clothes, I buy their pajamas. Naging brand ko ngayon, dati maong, black t-shirt, and these things. Ngayon, pajama. So I think I have 10 pajamas right now. I'm not sure if it's pajama. I don't even know what it's called, but yeah, I'm collecting those pants that they look like pajamas. Parang ganun, sportswear, something like that. So regardless no whether I do big talks in front of thousands of people, yan lang ang attire ko. Whenever I do single talks one-on-one, ito pa rin naman yung attire ko. Kaya yan. So ito. Jogger. Really? Pajama kasi nga naman is pantulog. Ayan. Sweatpants. Yeah, yeah. Something like that, no? Pero yeah, yung sweatpants or jogger ng Uniqlo, pinapakyaw ko, no? Kasi gusto, minsan pare-pareho talaga. So, kaya yung mga ka-meeting ko after every week, parang nagtataka, ito lang ba pants ditong lalaking to? Parang ganun. No, I love collecting, no? Pero yun lang ang binibili ko. So, pero one thing that I love about them is that yung convenience, that they will really assist you, how they simplified the paying system, even you falling in line. 'Di ba? Sobrang ganda ng technology na in-apply nila, sobrang ganda ng convenience. Talagang naririnig nila, compare it to a department store na minsan nakakairita kasi merong sunod ng sunod sa'yo. 'Di ba naalala ko, I visited one store, parang lahat, "Ay sir, naka 50% off." Okay, nakikita ko, ang laki, 50%. Lakad ka, "Ay sir, maganda po ito, ganyan, ganyan. Puwede bang ano, ako yung pipili, hindi ikaw?" Sir, ganito po." Tapos take note, 4 silang nakabuntot sa akin, may isa pa sa harap ko. So parang, come on, nakaka-irritate kayo guys. I need serenity, I need peace. I want to think and choose. Kaya yun, no? So, that's my pain point. Ako yung tipo ng taong, because I'm most of my work is mental. So whenever I visit stores, I want peace. Parang ganun. Wag niyo akong pakialaman, okay? Bibili ako. Ayan. Oh, really? Si Elena, my husband used to work in Uniqlo. Yes, napakaganda. uh Yeah, Japan. Iba talaga Japan, no? Pati yung news lately, napakagaling yung discipline nila. Okay? So it's very important that when you identify your market, ayan, your market, you identify their problems and pain points. Si Bibong Pinay, because Bibong Pinay, by the way, this is under Bibong Pinay, okay? So Bibong Pinay is under Thrive. Ayan. So Thrive kasi owns a lot of entities. Where am I? So ayun, Bibong Pinay, ang target niyan kasi women in different walks of life. May pang single, may pang solo mom, merong married, merong pang tita, meron pang grandparents. So yan ang target ni Dorcas, target market. And of course, masa. So sometimes may mga high class siyang customers, pero ang target is very clear, mass ang target niya. So syempre ayaw niya nang makipag-compete dun sa mga sikat na English speaking na mga nanay, no, na women empowerment. So ngayon, what she does, ano yung mga pain points? The reason why she created the DIY group, no, is because ang daming bumibili sa kanya ng planner. So naisip niya, instead of selling more planners, why not just teach them how to create their planner, and more than that, bigyan sila ng pagkakakitaan. Kasi sabi nga niya, I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be a mom, you're stuck, 'di ba? Tapos you want to dream big, you want to create, you want to innovate, 'di ba? Parang you want to earn. So why not, sabi ni Dorcas, why not empower them in that area? The reason why you're here, at ako lang ang ako, I think we have a guy here din, no? Do we have a guy here, lalaki? Meron ba? Please comment, no, if or else feeling ko ako lang ang mag-isang lalaki dito. Okay, so si Jonalyn mamaya sasagot. Ayan si Jay. Si Jason, of course. Sorry, Jay. Oo nga pala. Meron ba? I'm not sure if Randy is with us right now. Okay. So mamaya sagutin natin, no, pag-gather ng questions. Jason, pag-gather din ng questions. Pa-support si Cassandra. Nautusan pa. Okay. So identify their pain points and create a solution. Make sure your brand is the best solution. And if you are positioning yourself na it's all about them, I have the solution here. In fact, even if my solution will fail, maganda yung service recovery. Refund mo yan. Iyon na yan. I'll create another one for you. Something like that, no? So wag ka na magtaka na you're building loyal customers. And number 3, just like what I've said, sell your customers a vision, their life's dream. at the end of the day, they are not buying your product. At the end of the day, it's not about them buying a calendar from you or buying a coffee. They are there buying or acquiring because, yan, it's either at dahil sila and because naging loyal customer sila, it's because you are selling them their live stream. Okay? So, okay. So, nawala, nag-prompt yung ano ko, update. Ayan. So basically, brand, last one. So tapos na tayo sa DNA overview. Then we have the name, the logo, the voice, the story. This time, let's talk about the aesthetic, the beauty. Okay, kasi ang hirap nga naman, ang ganda ng pangalan mo, ang ganda ng logo mo, ang pangit ng product mo. So tapos mag-expect ka, bakit hindi, walang bumibili sa akin? Sorry, I have to say it bluntly. You have to really identify your aesthetics. Like for instance, if you will ask me, I love books. I eat books for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Before I go to sleep, I read. Kaya yon. So, pero if you'll ask me, Coach Mark, saan kayo bumibili ng books? I don't buy sa National Bookstore. Sayang ang National Bookstore. I used to love National Bookstore, but when they were, yun nga, nag-hire ng new CEO, something happened. I'm not a fan of power books. Kaya yan, ano pa ba? Expressions, things like that. I'm a fan of Fully Book. Ayan, I love the vision of the owner, the CEO, and wherever you go, I love how they designed the aesthetics of Fully Book, the professionalism of the staff. 'Di ba? Parang kapag may tinanong ka, can you imagine, no, halimbawa, magre-request ka, what, may ganito kayong book halimbawa ni Brandon Burchard. Okay, dadalhin kayo, research, sir, dito po, samahan ko kayo. Ayan, sasamahan ka talaga nila. Dito, minsan tatambayan ka pala at magugulat ka. Minsan, they even know the book as if they've read it. And sometimes, they will talk and discuss with you about the content. At sasabihin pa niyan, minsan mag-a-advise pa yan na, sir, you know what, you've got to try this one book. Kilala niyo si ganito. Ayan, so very professional compared to when you go to National Bookstore. Sorry, I'm not undermining National Bookstore, pero sometimes I feel like I'm looking at a principal. Parang ganun yung feeling ko, no, parang tapos yun nga naka-makeup na alam, tapos naka yung ponytail, 'di ba? Parang that's an SOP. Parang feeling ko kaharap ko yung principal na parang, "Ma'am, pwede pong mag-ask ng tanong." Ano po 'yon? Parang something like that, no? I mean, yeah, that's my last experience, by the way. And of course, the aesthetics of Cricut. Ayan. So, Cricut, can you imagine, the simplicity, ang very direct to the point, and the design, the way they design their products. Napakaganda naman talaga. Ayan. So, sabi ni Ruby, parang parating ka sa Okay, so para silang laging nag-aayos, yes. Ang nagustuhan ko sa Fully Book, you can open, you can read. In fact, I finished books there without buying. Yes, pero syempre, nag-guilty ako. I remember, no, kapag business book, I buy. Kapag novel, dun ko na lang binabasa. Parang nakailang books ako, especially the Percy Jackson series. So, some books I bought, pero yung mga Rick Riordan books, dun ko na lang binabasa, upo ako. So, manghihiram lang ako, can I open this? So, sila mag-open, tapos babasahin mo, upo ka lang. Kaya ang ganda ng carpet nila, di ba? So you can just sit anywhere then read. Kaya yon. And you can stay there. Morning to evening, they will encourage you. Okay. Ayan. So that's Cricut. Then of course, the aesthetics of Netflix. I love how Hastings designed Netflix, di ba? Na talagang it's easier to browse. You can compare it to, sino nga tong problema natin? Si HBO. HBO Signature, ang hirap mag-search. Tapos parang laging limited. Alam mo yung tipong, nandito yung DC, ba't hindi ko na makita? Ayan, so parang ang hirap. Even the Prime, oh my goodness, Prime, ang hirap mag-log in. Especially kapag na-log out ka, expect a very, very difficult process of logging in again. Diba? If you have an Amazon Prime, and then what else? Disney Channel, oh, it's also good. Disney Channel, very exclusive. Di ba? Kapag sinabi, oh, I have meron ka? Oh, I have Disney Channel, I don't have Netflix. Parang ganun, no? Parang, Disney Channel, big time. Pero yun nga, very accessible naman siya. It used to be exclusive para lang dun sa kayang mag-avail at mag-subscribe ng VPN, which is actually expensive. Ayan, okay. So, things to consider Okay, when we are talking about aesthetics. Ayan. Okay. Okay, so aesthetics. Number one, staff. Your staff is part of your aesthetics. Your staff is part of your brand. Okay, don't forget. I remember, alam mo yun, wag naman sana yung tipong ang ganda natin sa social media, nung representation, nung nakita yung staff natin na magbibigay ng parcel o mag-aabot sa atin, ang taray laging galit. So, dun nasisira ang brand experience. Okay? Kaya nga mapapansin nyo, imagine and think about the number one and leading brands. 'Di ba? Like na may store. Let me compare. Power Mac, I will compare it to Samsung flagship store. Or sige, wag na lang Samsung. Mamaya Samsung to Samsung tayo. I remember no, I visited Power Mac, I visited an iStore. The reason why I love Power Mac is kapag papasok ako doon, it's as if I'm entering Apple store itself. As in yung Apple store in the US and other rich country. Parang yun mismo, no, they know the staff, they are called brand experts. Whenever you talk about their brand, alam nila yan. Wala silang moment na, sandali lang po, tatanungin ko lang po doon, i-check ko lang po. No, they know kapag sabi yung, they have a stock? Sir, right now we don't have, kakaubos lang, but don't worry, let me get your number because next Thursday we will yun nga, may bago kaming arrival. Okay, what do you want? I remember entering an iStore, alabang days pa lang, and right now here in Negros. Oh, terrible service. Pagpasok na lang ito, sorry medyo arrogant tong tone ko. Kasi frustration ko because I love Apple brand. Alam niyo naman, obvious naman, 'di ba? Ang kulang na nga lang lagyan ng logo dito ang Apple lahat ng damit ko, and I wanna do that sana, no, kung pwede lang. Yun, I love Apple brand. So pagpasok ko sa iStore, dahil sila lang ang may store dito bukod tangi, pagpasok ko, walang pumapansin sa akin. Tapos parang kumakaway na ako, yung manager at yung security guard at isang staff nagdadaldalan, nakita na kami. Sumilip na sila tapos daldalan ulit. So napataas na yung boses ko, "Excuse me, bibili ako." Sabi ko, gano'n. Kaya since then, buti na lang sa Ayala Mall dito, merong Loop. Yun nga lang, very limited at medyo mas mahal sila sa iStore. Pero parang minsan ang sarap lang mang-asar na bumili kami, parang gano'n. So parang alam mo yun, na Sharon Cuneta. So nakakainis, no? So guys, make sure your staffs are trained to give quality service because they are part of your brand. Ayan, so kami no sa Archers, yung school, the reason why we have loyal families who kept on yun nga, getting our offers, they enrolled to us over and over again, especially next year na may mga bago kaming surprise. It's not because of the wonderful design. Medyo strict ako sa design. So it's not about that, but the quality of the service. Ang gagaling ng team namin. So guys, remember train your staff please. Especially the customer service, to hindi yung parang laging akala mo mga away sa chat o kaya naman antaray sa chat or wrong grammar, magtagalog ka na lang, parang ganon. So, train your staff. Okay, next. Concierge. Your concierge, the front. Whether your concierge is your page, your Facebook page, or a group, or maybe it's a Facebook account, or a physical concierge na lalapit sila doon, I wanna buy something. Okay? Make sure it's an important brand. Okay? Your service is a vital part of your brand. Regardless, if you have a restaurant, if you have a printing business, if you have a store, lahat ng service. Well, basically, the idea of the word service came from the word serve. Always serve your customers kahit minsan very irritating. Just serve. That's the secret, okay? Just serve. Compare it halimbawa sa CBTL, 'di ba? Sorry, na-experience ko kasi to. Sorry, nalaglag ako. Anyway, again, I'm not undermining CBTL. It's how ito yung personal experience ko. CBTL, no, Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, and Starbucks. I remember, may nagwawalang customer, itong si manager nakipag-away sa customer. Sa Starbucks, they will give you all the convenience, kahit sigawan mo't duraan, they will not fight back. They are trained to do that. It's not about me, it's all about you. Okay? So, your service is one of the key secrets for your success. Ito pa, medyo weird to, restroom. Medyo weird, no, kapag pumunta ka sa restaurant, You entered the restroom, napakadumi. Take note, kung yung restroom pa lang na nabibisita ng mga paying customers ay napakadumi na, dahil na-experience at nakikita natin, how much more the kitchen na hindi natin nakikita. Take note of that. Kaya ako honestly guys, medyo maarte ako no when it comes to the restaurants na kinakainan namin. So ayun, so medyo sensitive ako especially if yung quality ng restroom pa lang nila. Compare it no kapag sa coffee, ano nga to, Coffee Project. Yeah, 'di ba? Villar brand. Na Villar ka na ba? 'Di ba? Pag when you say Coffee Project, sobrang automatic malinis. The restroom sobrang linis, high-tech pa. Kulang na lang magsalita. Okay, and of course the production. If you have a restaurant, that's the kitchen. Okay, if you have the production area, the service where things happen, make sure there's an order. So naalala ko no, we're blessed to have this team no na parang when it because nung nasa printing business pa kami, sobrang galing nila. I remember we have Cassandra, we have Jason, sino pa nga ba? We have Julina, na they make sure everything's in order. Na tipong kahit ako sasabihin ko, oh guys, gusto ko mag-production. Ayan, parang hindi, I don't need an instruction because everything was in order. Gagawin ko na lang. Yun nga lang, puro mali pa rin ako. Okay, kaya sabi sa akin ni Dorcas at saka ng teammate namin, Kuya Mark, umupo ka na lang. Sige. So branding guide. Let's talk about the branding guide. I really encourage you guys to get a professional brand artist. Ayan, they know what they're doing. They make sure paying a brand artist, guys, is very expensive. Um, I remember, no, may nagtanong sa akin, Coach Mark, kung magpapagawa ko sa'yo ng brand, how much ang charge mo sa akin? Sabi ko, I'll charge 100,000. Bakit ang mahal? Kasi I'll make sure that your brand will take you to that next level. Not just your logo, but all your brand. That's what we call the branding guide. It's actually a book. So para siyang maliit na compilation or booklet na everything's there. The way you design, why you design it like that, yung mga margin, yung placement, paano siya gagamitin sa ganitong documents, positioning, what color to use, that's the branding guide. Kaya make sure no you get a professional brand artist. But of course, there's a good news, no? But I will choose 5 muna this week. Actually, may nagpasa na sa aking 4. So isa na lang. So isa na lang no na magpapasa na I can assist you next week on your brand. So one application na lang I will be announcing maybe later or tomorrow or Monday kung sino sila na I'll be assisting when it comes to their brand, and it's for free. Kasi at the end of the day, yan, I'm here to help. So for those who are interested, meron akong nilagay na procedure. So ayan, hindi ako tatanggap. Ito guys, please, let's be professional. No? Please don't send me personal message. Kahit si Dorcas or si Cassandra or anyone on our team, send a message to the page because although ako yung I'm involved, Dorcas is involved, everyone's involved. We're not involved dun sa mga messaging sa mga instruction. In fact, I don't even know the admin area. So hindi ko alam no. So please message dun sa group, mag-comment kayo or send a message to Bibong Pinay because we have a team, we have a we have social media managers who are handling that. Hindi ako, okay? So minsan may mga nagtatanong sa akin, nasaan na po yung link ko? Abay, hindi ko alam. Nasaan yung link ko nga, hindi ko rin alam kung nasaan eh. I have to ask them as well. So let's be professional lang. So for those who wants to join, mayroon akong protocol sa page. Ayan, meron akong process para mapili kayo. But don't worry, I really want to help everyone. 5 lang muna next week ang tutulungan ko. So get a professional brand artist, that's a must. Okay, next, choose 3 to 5 fonts only. Napansin ko we have people here no na when you design a book, iba-iba yung font. Minsan naman nag-cursive ka na sa main title mo, lahat cursive pa. So medyo masakit sa mata. What you can do is this. Think about your favorite brand. Oh, I love for the planners. If you want a shining shimmering planner, I want the Belle de Joie. Okay, yung alam niyo naman, sabi ni Dorcas, high school pa lang Belle de Joie na siya. Until such time it inspired her, she wants to create her own planner. So if you are in that shining shimmering glimmering planner, tingnan nyo, paano kaya sila nag-fonting? Paano yung design? How did they position their title, their brand, the logo at the back? Parang ganon. So pag-aralan natin, no, and later on you'll realize they're only using 2 fonts, 3 fonts, or sometimes 5. So the brand font, basically the name, make sure it's, ako what I do is this. I look for my favorite brands, then I check font of Starbucks. Ayan. Font of Nintendo. Nalaman ko, Hill Sans lang pala Nintendo, bold italicized. Kaya yun, kaya mapapansin nyo, di ba? Sa other training, ano nga ba yung other training ko? Startup. This is a startup. I'm using Hill Sans. Nintendo style yun. So parang make sure you have a reserved font for your title, the name of your brand. Okay? Tapos, next for the tagline, it's a different font. Tapos, you have the header, you have the content. Wag pa bago-bago, yun lang. Stay there. Like for instance, Apple. Apple is using these three fonts. Website, on their boxes, on their manuals, lahat. On their advertisements, they're using three fonts, Myriad, Helvetica, and San Francisco. Okay? Next, choose your color palette. So medyo nakita ko no, may mga nag-design sa atin dito. Again, guys, I'm not undermining. No? I'm giving you a professional critic. Okay? So, nakita ko medyo masakit sa mata. Medyo different, parang hindi mo pwedeng ipagdikit to eh. May basic rule dito, pero parang iba yung rule, iba yung ruling, no? So napagsama yung mga hindi dapat. Kaya yan. So make sure that if you will be choosing this palette, stay there. Stay there, okay? If you'll be choosing like military colors, stay there. Ayan, for your logo. Wag naman yung halimbawa, ang logo mo, military color, pagdating naman sa iba mong content, rainbow color. Wag naman ganon. So, kapag you will stay with the rainbow color, the original color ng red, di ba? Alam naman natin, di ba? Yung red, orange, yellow, blue. So, if you will stay there, stay there. Okay? So, sa archers, as archers, yung school namin, we're staying there sa rainbow color. Hindi kami nagpa-pastel color doon like this one. Pastel, we have pastel colors, so things like that. So, lagi kaming bright colors. When you go to Thrive, it's more on green palette. Kaya yon. So, mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo, no? Wala dito yung color ko eh, pero I think it's this one. Yeah, something like that. So, hanapin nyo lang, no, kung ano yung color nyo. Wag masyadong all of the above. Magmumukha kayong sobrang sobrang next, parang ganon. So, I hope you get what I mean. Okay. Yes, okay. So next, of course, make it uniform. Like for instance, make it uniform. The way you presented your logo, make it available and uniform sa lahat ng brand. Okay, like Uniqlo, wala ka namang makikitang biglang all of a sudden may cursive sila, right? 'Di ba? Or halimbawa, can you give me another brand? Shakey's. Ayan, dahil may Shakey's kami dito. Wag Shakey's. Sige, Shakey's. Shakey's, no, alam naman natin ang uniform nila, so they're branding the stripe, 'di ba? The New York style, like the red, white, the umbrella, and the black. Even their uniforms, red, white. Even I think Pizza Hut is using that, and even Kenny Rogers are using it, no? Yung ganung style. So wag naman, di ba, hindi mo natin makita natin sila biglang magpe-pale color. Kaya yan. So make it uniform. So kung New York style, then New York style. Wag yung biglang New York style dito, pero the way you present your table, parang nasa Mediterranean ka. So it doesn't make sense. It's confusing. So, okay, so make it uniform. Like for instance, how Nike is designing their logos, no, ganyan ka-uniform. Not just that. So if they will be using this the palettes of this color, so ito lang yung gagamitin nila. Another is of course the positioning. Very strict tayo sa positioning and use PNG files. PNG, wag tayong mag-stretch ng JPEG as much as possible. Let's not use JPEG. Okay, especially no may mga nakikita ko na may nag-design tapos in-stretch yung picture, so yung mukha lumapad, parang ganon. Yung ilong na matangos, biglang all of a sudden, parang naging East-West Bank na. Parang ganon. So wag ganon, no? Yung biglang all of a sudden, nag-iba na yung brand kasi na-stretch na yung photo, biglang nagtangkaran. Yung ganon. Excuse me. So, ayun, make sure that your positioning as well, make it uniform. So, different color, di ba? Charcoal and white, sky blue and white, di ba? Tapos, I think this is dark navy blue. And I'm not sure kung anong tawag sa orange na to. Then orange and white. So make sure na when you position it like this one, website, can you imagine yung branding na may sukat-sukat pa? Ayan. And the reason why 5 lang ang kukunin ko because I'll be creating a brand guide, no? Yung may mga ganito-ganito rin. And maghahanap ako ng mga may potential brands. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, kapag nakita ko ang ganda ng potential, na-catch ko yung, na-in-love ako sa vision and mission nyo, why not? Hindi natin alam ako maging investor nyo. Okay? So, okay. Yes, ito. Paano po ma-incorporate yung brand color font natin sa well, basically you need to start establishing your brand first no before you create or design your product. Sometimes nauna ang product, then make sure that your brand is still alam mo yon it speaks your product. So something like that. Kaya yon. So customization. Again, yeah, printing shop. If yes, so if your product is them, then get their brand. Yun na lang. So how do you want your planner to look like? Parang ganon. So ayan. Si Vanya, sorry nakalimutan ko kung ano yung pinost ko. Yeah, I think no. Yeah, business plan because when you branding is part of the business plan. Oo. Kaya yan. Okay? So this is one of my brands no. I founded this last 2015. 2014. Yes, okay, Thrive. So that's the tagline, Thrive right here, right now. Ngayon, it's just Thrive. Kaya yon. So ang website namin is Thrive in Life. That's the complete registered name. Thrive in Life Leadership and Consultation Incorporated. Tama ba? Or company. Parang ganon. So hindi ko alam yung real name namin. Pero the market name is Thrive. Okay, so that's how, tinan nyo, very orderly. Okay, so if it's green, if it's charcoal, because I love charcoal, then if it's gradient color, then if it's pure white. So kahit ito, this color would be orange or yellow. So the positioning, yung sukat, yung distance kapag napunta sa corner, meron pa akong brand na itong logo ay nandito sa side. So hindi ko na pinost no para ano, because I have 98 slides. So malapit na tayo matapos. So Netflix, they're using these colors lang. Hindi natin sila makikita using pink. So ayan, meron pa silang code sa kanilang colors. Oops, sorry. Ayan. The next, update your brand every 3 years. This is what we call rebranding. So every 3 years, make that update. So wag naman yearly, nag-update tayo. Okay, so wag naman no, hindi lang yearly, no, yung iba monthly na feel, oh, parang mas gusto ko to, so palit. At wag naman every product nagbabago yung branding natin. For the logo, example, this is Apple 1976 and up until now, no, so they stayed with the 2017, but this is the dates, 'di ba, na in-update nila. So 1977, they kicked out Steve Jobs 1986. They hired Steve Jobs 1993. So when Steve Jobs launched his new 1986 and 1996 din pala. 1986 kicked out, 1996 binalik nila as an intern CEO. So when he launched his first new product as the CEO, which is the iPod, 'di ba? The iPod, grabe no, yun kaagad yung ni-release niya. Ito na yung logo nila. So the black one, the one I'm always using. Ito medyo hindi ako fan ng ganitong style. So pero it's still good. Okay? Then of course, Facebook, which is now Meta. Wala na sa professional level, wala nang gumagamit ng Facebook ngayon. Oh, you mean Meta? Parang ganax. Di ba? At least may nalaman kayo ngayon, no? What Facebook? Oh, you mean Meta? Parang ganun na, no? So from Space Mash, of course, right now, it's Meta. And of course, Instagram, that's how yun yan, rebranding. So ito yung sabi ko, no? So this was the 2022 design. So medyo lumapad lang, nag-expand lang yung pink, violet. So yung tone dito sa color, yun lang naman yung nagbago, yung color nila. I don't know why. I don't know the story behind it. Okay, so that's the brand. When you say brand, how's your brand? You're talking about the whole DNA of your brand or your organization or your company, from you, from top to bottom, your rank and file, your hard stuff. Next, your name. Does it speak your brand? The logo, the representation, the voice. Diba? If you are comic, then stay there. If you are serious, stay there. If the story of your brand, make sure that on your story, it's not about you. Okay, it's not about you. You are the Yoda. You are the Rafiki. Sila ang Nala at Simba. Okay? Then aesthetics, make sure that you stay true to your design and the beauty of whatever you're serving. So, okay? So if you will master these 6 things, if you will decide tonight or maybe after a week, what will be my DNA name, logo, voice, story, and aesthetics, then you just develop your identity. Brand is the entire identity of a business. It's not just the name, it's not just the logo, it's the totality of your business, of who you are, of your product, of your staffing, of your restroom, everything. That's your brand, and start building your brand. Okay, so I hope you've learned something new, no? Ayan, sana worth it yung 200 pesos. Sige guys, God bless. Good night. Feedback please. Thank you.